can write a check, you can put cash in. Some people even put gambling chips in the offering plate. I'm not kidding. Because it's really giving not only to his church, it's giving to the Lord. So Dr. Lynn, would you scripture on your heart, whatever's in your heart, because you're my mentor. Do whatever you want.
The Lord shared with me the word stewardship. You know, Paul the Apostle thought very highly of stewardship of his calling and ministry. Let's pray. Let's believe, God, that our vision will even expand and extend and do more effectively than ever before. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for the privilege of being part of this great work right here at ICLV.
And the buckets are going to go around the aisles. Go ahead and give as the Lord leads your heart.
That is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saint.
Yeah, don't be scared to talk to that bitch that you were trying to talk to. Don't ever underestimate your shit. Ever. Yo, him, bro. Don't ever underestimate your shit. Don't be scared to talk to that woman that you always been wanting to talk to. Go ahead, talk your shit, and you good. Don't ever back down. Alright, peace.
Hey, Steven, man, you really believe that stuff at all, man? Come on, you really believe that stuff you be saying?
Belief about
I'm on the phone.
You on the phone?
Yeah.
You looking at my baby?
No, I ain't looking. No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man. Next time we come outside, don't be staring and shit like that. I don't like that.
I wasn't looking at him.
I don't like that. Don't be looking. I ain't looking at her. I ain't looking at her. Hey, what it do, man? Black Jericho salute. Yeah, we got some time. Saw Squalls on the end. Supposed to have a couple weeks off. Been busy. But yeah, man, we see the stuff that's going on with Vergil. Also, we see what the deal is with Shakur and Hagler. I'll talk about the end. Tony called out Errol. Oh, that'd be towards the end. But what I'm going to jump into first, I was going to make it a comment or make it a topic. Well, Andrew Tate lost to a dude named Chase Gilmore, who was 6'5". He was a college football player. First college, I didn't recognize what it was. Can't even pronounce it. His second college was Central Washington. I don't even know what the fools that is, right? So, yeah, I don't even know what that is. So, you know, at the end of the day, he played professional football for the Arizona Rattlers. I believe that was in the Arena Football League. And for the most part, this is why I think some fighters are scared to lose. This is why you got guys that would rather pull triggers than shoot the fade, put their dukes up, because of stuff like this. A lot of people say, well, you know, his message goes on deaf ears because he lost. You know, and like I said, I haven't heard a lot of this guy's message. to keep it real about Andrew Tate. I see the clips, but a lot of times you need to see this in its totality to really gauge. We see clips, and clips can be deceiving, right? But you know, because he lost, everybody says his message is his message is trash since he lost. And my thing is this: had he quit, or had he not, you know, took the fade and ducked the fade or whatever, I think I'd agree the message should be, you know, annulled. You know, it shouldn't even be. It should be gone. It should be expunged. This is the better word. I definitely agree with that. Okay, but you know, being a G, whatever he says, or being a man, you ain't gonna win them all, man. Anybody that been in a street fight, been in enough street fights, they lost. School, streets, they, you know, people that been jumped. I mean, we can go on and on and on about it. So a lot of these people basically, you know, kind of saying, yeah, I've been in a street fight. I never lost a street fight. You know, okay, how many street fights you been in? Like one, if that, two, or it's just flat out lie. I'd have been in over 20 of them. Easy, lost some, won some. You know what I'm saying? One way more than I lost, but yeah. Just because he lost, I mean, I feel like if he would have quit, I'd agree. Or if he didn't fight the guy, he jumped out the ring, I would agree. But I commend him and Fake Paul for jumping into the ring. And he was a kickboxer. Kickboxing is totally different than regular boxing. You know, hand placement, leg placement, blocking, you know, it's a totally different thing. And I hear, you know, people saying, well, you know, he's trash and he's this and he's that. I mean, what they got to do? Be a man up and do it. That's pretty much what I take from his message. If I had to just say, let me give a broad man up. Manning up don't mean you ain't gonna lose. Being a man don't mean having a perfect record. You know, being a man, you know, is you go out on your shield. You know, and if you ain't never been in that ring, the lungs, I mean, anything we're doing the conditioning, you know, I'm telling you, it's a different ball game in there. So I commend dudes that jump in that ring. You know what I'm saying? That be on some real shit. For people saying, well, you know, he's get in the ring then. Show us how it's done. We want to see you in the ring. You know what I'm saying? We want to see you in the ring. And that's real. So just like I said before, I just don't understand people. And this is why a lot of these dudes scared to get in the ring or scared to take a loss or they're scared to fight. They want to pull a pistol because as soon as somebody sees something get done like that on social media, it make world star, it go viral. Then you know you're destroyed. Man, a lot of these dudes, if y'all know what they was really doing, y'all would be crazy. A lot of these dudes that got this money, they stole it from old people. A lot of people that got these money that robbed senior citizens. A lot of these niggas that set their mans up to get the money. I done seen hoes set their friends up, they female friends up to get robbed and shit. You know, y'all seen a lot of these purpers on the internet. Ain't nothing wrong with taking a fair fade and losing. What is wrong is running from a fair fade. What is wrong is pulling a pistol or pulling a knife for a fair fade. What is wrong is quitting and not giving your all in the fair fade. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing that you could really say. Now you got to know when to hold them with a photo. Of course, you don't want to be an idiot and go 1 on 10. You know, you got to know when to. Sometimes you got to know when to walk away. You know, sometimes you got to peep the play. I ain't saying that you shouldn't. Every fade don't deserve a fade, if you feel what I'm saying. But to say, you know, everything he preached goes down the drain because he lost a sanctioned fight, and losses and rejection come with your man card. You know what I'm saying? It come with your man card. What are we talking about? You know, everybody think, oh, you perfect and this, that, man. Men take losses every day. That's crazy to me about that, bro. So the message is gone because he lost to a 6'5" professional athlete. He didn't go in there and lose to an Island Boy or Charleston White or, you know what I'm saying? He didn't go in and lose to them dudes. He lost to a legit athlete who got a scholarship from what I read to play ball. But like I be telling y'all, man, this is why a lot of these dudes ain't gonna take no risks. This is why, you know, you don't shoot the fair fade. This is why you walk away. You walk away from fades. You know, a lot of y'all that feel like y'all gotta pull a pistol or like that. You know, you gotta pull a pistol like that. Just think about it. When you pull that pistol, you ain't within your state rights of pulling that pistol. You gotta go to jail. Hey man, you gotta be handy with them hands. You gotta know how to fight when you go in there, or you gotta be well connected. Or you got to just, you know, prepare to be somebody's bitch. Who you calling? You and I think what? You know what I'm saying? Be prepared. Everybody walk around with a pistol, want to pull it and shit. But ultimately, what happens? Ultimately, what's going to happen? You know, you're going to have to use it. Use them hands, regardless however you cut that cake. So a lot of y'all got to think about that. Ain't nothing wrong with losing. What's wrong is running. That's what's wrong. We're running, not manning up. And that's his whole message from what I've been saying. It's just man up. Man up don't come with I got to be undefeated and bullshit. Any nigga that said, "Oh, I ain't never lost a street," they a motherfucking lie, or they ain't had more street. They can count street fights on one or two hands. I'm telling you that right now. Because if you really whoop a nigga's ass straight hands, you know, if you really getting down like that, man, they gonna jump you. They gonna jump you flat out. Ain't nothing wrong with losing. It happens. It happens. Niggas slipping street fights, all types of shit. Everybody, you know, then niggas be like, yeah, I lost, but the other one, it was subjective. It was a nah, nigga, you lost. If it's subjective, you lost. It was close. That's the niggas be like, it was close. Now, a lot of niggas ain't had 20. If you above 10, you probably lost some shit or you got jumped. I don't know if you really want to consider a jump a loss. But niggas then lost. If you fought enough, you lost. If you fought 10, 7, or of course you didn't lose. But if you fought enough, bro, you lost. That's how you learn to fight. Remember Jermaine and Joe Jackson and the family, the Jackson family movie? It was Jermaine taught Jermaine to shoot the fade right there. He taught Jermaine to shoot the fade right there. That's how you learn through fight, through losing, through losses, through close calls. That's how you learn to fight. It all comes. What Jeezy say on Hypnotized? It all comes with the game, free throws and fouls. $500,000 in the basement. Goddamn, I'm flagrant. It all comes with the game. Now, I ain't saying everybody that been knocked the fuck out. I say that. Everybody ain't never been knocked the fuck out, but it can happen. I ain't never been knocked the fuck out, but like I said, it can happen. It come from an object. It can, you know, shit like that happen. Now, when I pop my back in the gym, I never pop my side. I never thought that can happen. What them niggas be saying on Fire Club 520 on me, I never thought that could happen. When I fainted and I popped, I never thought. And I'm like, this got to be what it feel like for a nigga to get knocked out. That's what I was sitting there on the ground. I was like, man, this got to be what it feel for a nigga. Like, it feel like your body is your spirit is detached from your body. Crazy. I caught up with my mans in the gym. We don't like know each other, but we lifted and he started competing in powerlifting competitions. I'm like, yeah, you still competing? So I tore my shoulder up. like, yeah, pop my back. Kid Buzz, salute. Marshall, salute. Black Jericho, salute. He said Jay gets no credit for stepping in there for 92 minutes. Anybody would do shit, bullshit. And you be surprised at the number of cowards that's in there. He stepped in that bitch with Anthony Joshua, all 244.2 pounds in him. Like I said, I respect it. He ain't got his shit broke. I respect it. Anybody getting in those ropes? You say anybody, there's a lot of niggas that want to get in there for 92 million. He said when you cherry pick your scraps and prey on the weak, you might go, yeah, like I said, if you selective. But eventually, a lot of them niggas gonna jump you. When you a certified whoop nigga ass nigga, today they most likely gonna up the steal on you. Back about 20 years ago, you get a jump. And niggas was more fair. I've only lost once in my life. This nigga live in Ridgecrest. This nigga lost to Butch Agnes and shit. This nigga Black Jericho live in where did them niggas live at in where did them niggas live at in the Boondocks? Where did them niggas live at? Woodcrest. Nigga lived in Woodcrest. Nigga lost to Butch Magnus. Y'all remember Butch Magnus? Beat up Busta Rhymes and shit. This nigga Black Jericho lost to Butch Magnus. Dog lost to Butch Magnus, dog. This nigga lost to Butch Magnus, dog. Hey, Butch was moving shit though. That's an admirable loss. Nigga lost to Butch Magnus and shit. And because the nigga could wrestle, I didn't know what wrestling was. Yeah, wrestling very underrated. Once you get up, when they get you off them feet, it's a wrap. What people hate about Andrew Tate is the thing he's not into. He's trying to bash it for no reason. I remember saying skaters are virgins and geeks. Well, yeah. At the end of the day, the black community look at that. I really never deal with it. To me, I just couldn't skate, so I just was hating. But yeah, skating is, I don't think so. But I don't know, man. Tony Hawk made some. I was into it. It was, Tony Hawk was the pinnacle in the 90s when he did that 720. BMX bike. Hey, look here. Any nigga saying like that skate shit, niggas wasn't into that. Hey, man, niggas was into that. That's a fact. Skating. I see a bunch of black kids still skating to this day. That dude that had the Jordans, the skateboard boy who redid the Jordan 4s, he had the most popular shoe this year. It was voted. He's a skater. SB Nikes, SP Dunks. So I don't really get into that, man. It was a huge nigga line if he said he had a trick bike. He wasn't into what's my man's that was doing the trick bike shit? David, damn, I forget his name. Niggas was into that. Trick bikes, skating, Bob Burner Quest. Niggas is lying, bro. Niggas who skate get put. Anybody can get pussy. I ain't gonna say, well, mostly anybody can if you pay for it. He said, I stay in Detroit. I used to live off 6 Mile and McNichols. 6 and McNichols, the same place. What are you talking about? This nigga from Ridgecrest. 6 Mile turned into McNichols once you cross to the suburbs. So what are we talking about, sir? You stayed on 6 and what? This nigga stayed in Woodcrest, man. 6 Mile and McNichols is the same street. It just changed when you go crossing to the suburbs. Skating dope. He said that loss taught me a lot. It taught me that you ain't from Detroit if you stay off 6 and McNichols, nigga. Yeah, that's what it taught me. You better rethink that. You must have been on the east side 6 and I never heard of August 6 and August. That must be on the east side. It gotta be. I ain't never been on the east side. He said, I remember For Real had the skate team back in the day. Yup. Ice cream skate team. Niggas was buying that shit. This nigga was getting beat up. This nigga was fighting Butch Magnus and shit on 6 in August. I never heard of 6 in August. I heard they opened back up Capers on the east side, though. I heard Capers was dope. But yeah, let's roll into it. So I want to talk about it. I want to speak on that for a minute about Dan Raphael. For sure. I'm not Dan Raphael, but I want to speak about Andrew Tate. They always going to attack the messenger, but they're never going to attack the message. But if people, he said some things, people don't be knowing, bro. People don't be knowing, dog. Like, you don't have to be a OG or you don't have to be cool. You don't have to, in my opinion, a lot of people think you have to like be in a cool know-how, man. You know what I mean? How many loners probably be running through women in high school? But yeah, skating was a thing. It was a big thing back in the day. I had all the games. I had BMX game too. Remember SSX Tricky? I skateboard. I used to snowboard too. Niggas don't even know niggas snowboard. I'm somebody that try shit though. But he said it's right off that cemetery by Telegraph. Man, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I ain't never heard on street. You must live one of them dead end roads over there, because I grew up over there. I ain't never heard of August, dog. There must be one of them dead end roads right by the titty bar.
I mean, right now, everything, and I've talked to both sides about this. My understanding is that when it comes to the Matchroom and Boots Ennis, they're good to go. Eddie has been saying that even, for the last month, probably since Boots' last fight. Discussions between Matchroom and Golden Boy, I don't think they have like a signed contract necessarily, but they are definitely on the same page. They understand the parameters, how they're going to do it, what they're going to do, where they're going to do it, all that business. And of course, DAZN, which is the broadcaster for both Golden Boy and for Matchroom, has heavily involved. And I think they've laid out what their perspective is. The issue in making the match is strictly down between Eric Gomez and Oscar De La Hoya from Golden Boy and Rick Meridian, who is the manager for Vergil Ortiz. And they're fighting a bloody war in the boardroom over the money for that fight. And if they can't get it worked out, the fight's not going to happen. And Rick has taken a scorched earth attitude about it. And Oscar and Eric are not going to lay down about it. And they're bickering back and forth like cats and dogs. And hopefully that's just the sort of making of the sausage, and they'll get their shit together and get it done. But I know both of them. I know Eric and Oscar and Rick really well. And they're good at what they do, but they're very, very stubborn people as well. And so sometimes that gets in the way of actually getting a deal done.
All right, so you heard them. So I believe some other things have been said since then. I have been out the loop today. So I've been out the loop today. So I haven't been sending any tweets or even per se been looking at this stuff today. But for the most part, it ain't looking too good for Vergil Ortiz. So I heard Rick Merritt put out a statement. So shout out to Pound for Pound. Pound for Pound. That's what it is on X. He's a huge Ennis fan, right? So I haven't read this yet. So no quote, Rick Merritt. He said no war at all. Talked to Oscar a couple of days ago in the same page and could not be happier. As far as Eric Gomez, I argue with him about everything from the Bears being a good football team to every single fight for every single guy I need more money for. Usually ends in laughing, fighting, cussing, then laughing and fighting and more hugs at the end. I'm happy I'll sit back and let our promoter do what they do now as we are on the same page. I think it gets done. My thing is this. Why does this report needs to actually come out? Why does this report needs to come out, and you need to say something? The other day you were saying that, if I need to speak up against the zone, for Golden Boy and myself, if we gotta leave and they need to read the contract, you know what I'm saying? We can do that, and then all of a sudden it changes because they don't have any options. They don't have any options. That's what I keep telling y'all. That they like, even if they, the zone said, okay, y'all can dip out, y'all can do y'all. Y'all can do y'all can dip out, y'all can go elsewhere. There's nowhere else to go. PBC don't really have much. The Amazon is just waiting for that to fall apart. So they don't have much right now for them. I mean, Paramount, you gonna get down with Dana White? I doubt it. Maybe, might come down to Dana White eventually saying like, yo, maybe we do need to work with Golden Boy and everybody else and do our thing. Maybe, but not right now. They're not looking to work with anybody, right now. So they have no options but to do what the zone say and man up. So, of course, they want to get every single dollar they can because they don't believe they're going to win this fight. But one thing in boxing that I noticed, is that nobody ever lives in the reality that I'm definitely gonna win. I'm gonna cash in and I'm gonna be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody lives in that reality. That's crazy. So, but at the same time, that's the crazy thing about it. That nobody, for the most part, lives in the reality that I'm gonna win, I'm gonna cash in, and I'm gonna run off with this victory, and I'm gonna be a stud. Everybody, it's always a get rich scheme, a bank robbery. Excuse me. All these fights is always a bank robbery. Let me get every dollar because this can be the end, and I probably can never win another fight. After this, I can never win another fight. Why do you not live in a situation where let's cash in? Let's fuck this guy up and let's become the next superstar. They want to nickel and dime their way, and they want to take the scenic routes to being the superstar. And by the time you get there, it's time to retire. You 35, 36 years old, and it's time to retire. It's time to retire. I mean, how old is Vergil Ortiz? Let's see how old Vergil Ortiz is. Like, why, 27 years old. Like, he right in his boxing prime. If you really believe in yourself and you really believe in your abilities, let's get it done. Let's get it done. I don't really understand what's waiting around for. Y'all wait around 5, 10, 15 years to get that one big fight and y'all lose. When you could have lost the big fight early, rebuilt yourself and got multiple paydays. Y'all nickel and dime to one payday. That's crazy. So I mean, honestly, man, I don't see why a lot of these fighters living in a scarcity mindset. You know what I'm saying? Living in an abundance mindset. Go get it, man. Whenever this is, get in the ring, get in the ring and go get your victory. Or at least go get the experience. Y'all might have one of the most memorable fights. You might have came up on the wrong side of it, but now everybody know your name. They can't wait to see you back in that ring again. Now you got a name. Defeat is only what you let it, what you let it be. Real talk, defeat is only what you let it be. If you defeat it and you mentally let it defeat you, that's on you. Overcome and persevere. Perseverance is in your mind. Success is in your mind. A lot of people think success is it's the status quo. It's just this standard. You hear a lot of women saying, "Well, I just want more from my husband, and he just doesn't want. He may be happy making 70, 80K." You know what I'm saying? That brother might be happy being a plumber. He might be happy being an electrician. He might be happy exactly where he is. That doesn't mean he lacks ambition. That doesn't mean he lacks ambition. Everybody doesn't want to be the biggest. Everybody don't want to be the greatest. Some people just comfortable just being successful, and that's good for them. And some people are overly ambitious where it gets you in situations where you start to break the law on a white collar level because you over ambitious. But man, to be honest with you, I mean, maybe it was part of, throwing this hissy fit. Maybe it was just about getting money. But also maybe about the hissy fit, it was they really didn't want to fight. Maybe they didn't want to fight. But does this mean that he's going to lose because he didn't want to fight? No. He may win. And I think he may regret the fact that he didn't go get a championship earlier. But at the end of the day, now Vergil Ortiz, maybe he can go into this fight. Maybe he can go into this fight. You know, maybe the underdog. Maybe, you know, most people not expecting him to win this fight. And maybe it may be a lesser pressure on him. Might be less pressure on him. It might be less pressure going into this fight now for him. So, but for the most part, we'll see. It sounds like according to venue, it's been worked out. The date has been pretty much worked out. And the point is this, you know, will, you know, Vergil Ortiz sit there and will he pull out? Will he get sick again? Will he make weight again? A lot of these Hispanic Mexicans, they've been pulling these hoe ass moves. Will he be a clean fighter comes into this fight? Will he be a clean fighter? Will he not be a clean fighter? Will he get injured? Will Rob meiosis come back up? That's what you got to ask yourself. Because magically, when we start getting these top tier fights that people want to see, guess what? Shit stop happening. You know, all of a sudden, niggas get injured. Oh, I'm sick, or I can't do it. You know, but Vergil Ortiz, professional 10 years, and still won't get a title, including with this fight. You know, and it ain't like Boots is the most proven fighter in the world, neither. He can be God. We don't know if he can take it on the chops. You know, and then, you know, he really ain't grew into the weight class, which I don't think that's an issue just with his natural size. You know, how can Vergil Ortiz win this fight? Vergil Ortiz, you know, stop trying to hit home runs. That's what I tell him. Just take your time. Stop, you know, pushing your shots. He load up on his shots. How about just throw your shots? You know, double the jab. You know, keep staying on that jab with a guy like Boots. Touch that body. Touch him. When you put him on the ropes, then start putting them shots on him. Then start turning them shots over. But he throw everything at the same speed. Everything, you know, is at the same strength. He putting everything behind every punch. Keith Thurman did that shit. Don't know how to take stank off his shots, change his speeds. You know what I'm saying? You know, and Vergil Ortiz can take better angles too. You know, he most in the straight line, back line, you know, but he usually backing guys up, so it's hard. He could get a little bit more angles on guys. That might help. But when he going to fight Boots, he going to see angles. You know, that's what he better prepare for. You're going to see angles. You know, they can prepare to punch with him, but when you punch with a guy like Boots, don't load your shots up. Just let them flow. But they just throw everything. He just throwing everything like a young, spry pitcher. Everything that he throwing is a fastball. It's a fastball. It's a fastball. It's a fastball. Set it up. Touch him. I will say he's seen the jab more than the average Hispanic or Mexican. So, I mean, like I said, you know, it's a good fight. I'm not a fan of neither, for real. I like Boots. I like Vergil. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a diehard fan of either one of them. But that's because I don't really think they really got their feet in the cement yet. A bunch of, you know, almost both these dudes almost 40 unproven. I mean, 40, almost 30 and unproven. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. It's just no more shit 28 and 27. He'll be 28 March 25th in Vergil Ortiz, and Boots will be 29 June 26th. What we waiting on? These are your pinnacle years, you know, 27, 28, 29, and then right around 30, you know, that's it. Everything down there starts to go downhill for most of these fighters. Let's get to it. It ain't no more, you know, Tom and Jerry, Bulge. Let's get to it. It's a good fight. And also they should be proving that we can actually produce fights without Turkey Al-Sheikh is another thing about it. But of course the fight got to happen. They have no other options. Even if the zone say, okay, we allow y'all to go do somewhere else. Ain't nowhere else for Vergil Ortiz. Facebook Watch. There's no more Golden Boy website. Do they even have a website? There's no place for them. None. That Ryan Garcia card they doing with Mario Bars, that ain't gonna do no numbers. They ain't gonna do no numbers. I went to school right off beach. That nigga went to school in Redford, bro. He from Redford. He got a phone call. Benjamin Foe, what's good, bro? You see my boy Duran balling. You talk that Walker Kessler shit, nigga. Look at my nigga Doran. I gotta do some streams over there. He said people trying to finesse their way into a bag, not really believing in themselves. That's a fact. That's a fact. Everybody trying to finesse their way. They see these streamers. These streamers just gonna be like these rappers. Back then they didn't want me. Now they don't know how to deal with that fame and fortune, bro. It's like a rapper, it's short-lived. Any artist, oof, that was a pop. Any artist, that shit is short-lived, bro. If once you really think about it, you know, it's not always the most talented people who have longevity in the music entertainment business. Let's keep it real. Even in sports, Gale Sayers didn't have a huge window. That's how great he was. Terrell Davis didn't have a huge window, still got in. You know, for every Denzel Washington and Samuel Jackson you see, you know, so it's about 20 other working actors that you thought was pretty good, you know, that still ain't working. You know, shout out to Wood Harris and his brother that played in Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I forget his name. The other Harris brother, he played he played all these hated characters and shit. Man, he played a bunch of shit. He played in Sugar Hill. Forget his brother name. His last name Harris. You know, they've been around forever. You know, Wood Harris is an acting legend. You know, think about it. Last time you see Mekhi Phifer some shit for real. Hellified actor from old to paid in full. I mean, hellified actor. It's just not about talent. And that's the problem. So, you know, a lot of these guys around, you got to ask yourself, how did they stick around? It ain't talent. A lot of times it's just other shit. Honestly. Some of them low-key don't want to be there. Yeah, they don't. Some of these guys don't want to fight. I'd agree. A lot of these guys, Tank is one of them. Tank don't want to be a fighter. A lot of these niggas would love to set up a camera and just vlog about their lives. But one thing you find is most of these dudes are not interesting. Most of these dudes are not interesting, bro. I mean, if I vlogged about my life when I was in high school or my 20s, bro, it would have been way more interesting than what these niggas was doing. That ain't no cap. No cap, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly. No cap. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of them guys, they rather just stream and they rather just do something else. They don't. This was they time out. This was their opportunity. So what the F is she doing though? What I said about the statement. Ortiz not trying to lose right now. I mean, lose now or lose late. What does it matter? What does it matter? If you lose, you lose. Whether you lose to Fondor, you lose to Mazaliev, a loss is a loss. You can learn and come back. A lot of these niggas losing, it's the end of the world, man. It ain't. Didn't you lose in the amateurs and you kept going? Vergil gonna get a hand injury. Watch. Ortiz is a gate. I can't call him a gatekeeper at this point. Them dudes renting mansions and they'll burn through the money next 5-10 years. Facts there, probably not even that long. Not even that long. You know, not even that long. So that's me knowing what it is. If I'm gonna open my life up, that's gonna be some shit I'm gonna live off of forever. I'm gonna reinvest and live off of forever. A lot of niggas just say goofy shit. Niggas get money, and money is the answer to everything, and it's not. Keep telling you all that shit. He said, "Man, I didn't know Harris had a brother." Yeah, let me tell you. Y'all know my man. He was in Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I hate to say that's the only movie he been in. He was in, Sugar Hill. Steve Harris. Y'all know brother Steve. You know, y'all know brother Steve. Yeah, brother Steve. This is his brother. I think it's his big brother. They both from Chicago. You know, he was in Burning Sands too. I ain't seen that in a minute. Tragic movie, even that shit's still going on. Diary of Mad Black. He was in BMF. He was the dirty cop in BMF for his son. I ain't watched too much longer at that. His son got in trouble, got put to jail. He was in Sugar Hill, The First Purge, Minority Report in 2002. I think that was a remake. He did some voiceover in Batman. Yeah, I mean, he been around. He's in Winning Time. I didn't watch Winning Time. Yeah, he been around. I've been around the world. Yeah, that's his, that's Wood Harris' big brother. He's 60. What about 56? Yeah, they both, no, hold on. What about 55? 56. Yep. Avon Barksdale, played in Above the Rim. Remember the Titans? Tell me, ain't no team about the team. Don't tell me about the team. Yo, white boys ain't black for red, not a what? Hey, when you start like talking to white people about some of our black movies, they be like, I've never seen that movie about. I bet you never seen a movie about black desegregation. I bet you haven't, but Brad, they live in a totally different world than we live in, especially when you start talking about, movies like Roots and Amistad and the Jackson Family, which I don't think the Michael Jackson biopic gonna be better than the Jackson Family. They don't know shit about that shit. They don't know shit about our culture. I guarantee you that, bro. They don't know our actors, our actresses. We done had niggas set trends. Niggas don't even know why they wanted to had Gumby haircuts and wore polka dots and shit. They don't know nothing about our culture. He said, Maverick knew that's crazy. Yeah. They brothers. I definitely didn't drink enough water to gel. Oh, my phone. So I think this girl picked it up and turned. I think I seen her pick it up and turn it in today. I think I left that shit right on the fucking turf. Thank God she did. But yeah, man, with Vergil and Jerron is, I mean, shit, Jerron, and this ain't gotta say nothing. He did his part. He played his role, and and hopefully the fight get done. But the belief is, will Vergil Ortiz go along with it? That's the question. Will he go along with it? So, but yeah, hopefully they get this fight done. I don't know when they talking about doing the fight. Maybe you think about March or April. I mean, that's probably when you think about it. First time I saw a gun be cut, I was watching Reading Rainbow. I think Bobby Brown came up. He credited with it. Ball is in the Ortiz's court. Hopefully they make the fight. That's all we can really sit there and hope. Hopefully they make the fight. But obviously, really it takes some pizzazz away from the fight when a guy don't want to fight. When a guy don't want to sit there and fight, easy salute. When a guy don't want to sit there and fight, that take a lot away from it. When a guy don't want to fight, bro, like, really, do I really want to see you, get in the trenches and you don't want to fight? Let's keep it real. And we seen what happened to Canelo. I mean, my thing is this: if you knew, you want to move through the ranks, you might fight Carlos Adames, or you might fight Erislandy Lara. You knew Jerron Ennis was on your ass. No Jeffrey Epstein. You should be getting these guys in the gym, and that's the one thing about like Robert Garcia and them. Like, going to their gym, it's hard to get black fighters to come out there and spar them out there. So Vergil Ortiz kind of need to get it and get some sparring partners. He should have been having sparring partners prepared for him. He struggled with McKisson. If Michael McKisson can punch, he would have been in some problems. He would have had some problems. If Michael McKisson could punch, Vergil Ortiz, if you want to know why he don't want to fight Jerron Ennis, watch the Michael McKisson fight. If Michael McKisson can punch, Vergil Ortiz never would have took that fight. Tell me I'm lying. Michael McKisson was turning him. Michael McKisson was boxing his Hispanic ears off. He was boxing his ears off. So that's the crazy thing about it. So when you kind of watch these guys, the worst thing you can do when a guy has a problem with the style is run from it, because eventually if he hang around long enough, you're going to run into it again. Oh, he struggled with southpaws. Well, we need to get him in there with southpaws. Starting off in the gym, finding, southpaws. Maybe you can get a southpaw who can't punch, who going to give you some rounds, who can take a punch. Maybe you put him in a southpaw in there who can punch after a while, but who can't, who don't have the best stamina, or who can't take a punch. That's the train of thought. You have to microdose these dudes. It ain't nothing different than what the parents do. I remember we had I was in middle school. We got into it with the 8th graders and shit, and or it was I think it was 6th or 8th grade or 6th or 7th or 8th graders we got into. I remember, and one of the dudes, he was scared. You real talk. This dude was scared, bro. This dude was scared for his life. His name was Javon. I'll never forget it. We used to fight with them all the time, bro. Like, all the time we used to fight in the locker room because we shared. They had one side of the floor. They had the other side of the floor. We used to fight. I get fucked. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I don't want to be in this school. I might as well, like, really, feel me, go out a legend. So we used to fight and shit. And one day he was like, man, I'm scared. He was scared. He would be hiding in the corner and shit. And his mama pulled him out to school. She didn't I don't remember her making a complaint, but she pulled dude out to school. He ran. And that's the thing, when you don't have a man around or you don't have a father who has a big enough voice, you can't run from problems like that. Eventually, it's going to come another point in time where he's going to have to defend himself. He's going to have to defend himself. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? So, but then again, he ran. That's just what he did. He hit the race. But eventually, when you keep running from a particular style, it's going to think about Canelo. They said, well, you tried to match him away from that Lara style and all that stuff for years. Eventually, before he checked up out of the sport of boxing, or he does get out and retire, he still got to see that. He still got to see that style. He still had to see that style from a dude 2 or 3 weight classes below him. Think about that for a minute. He still had to see that. He still had to see that very same style that he ran from. So it ain't no point. You might as well get in the ring with them guys, fight those guys, see what make them tick, see what bother them. So by the time you got to this point, you would have been comfortable fighting Boots. But think about it. Since he fought Michael McKisson, who has he fought like that? Think about that for a minute. He fought Madrimov, and I felt like he lost that fight. A lot of people don't feel like he won because they didn't score the fight. Score the fight. Score that very same Madrimov fight. He gave up like the first 6 or 7 rounds of that fight. And you notice he wasn't punching. He wasn't hitting shit. That Madrimov fight, all he fucking did was wait for Madrimov to get tired before he got to work. But by the time he got to working, he didn't score a knockdown or get a knockout. He lost the first 6, 7 rounds in that fight. Flat out. He lost that fight. And Madrimov won it, or at least 1 or 2 rounds from 8 to 7 to 12. He won a couple rounds in that fight. A 117, 111 is atrocious. 115, 113 was atrocious in that fight. Watch that fight again and score it. Don't go off the eyeball. Score that fight. Motherfucker lost the first 6, 7 straight rounds in that fight. But then again, you got people that go in here and they say, guess what? They go around, and say, well, it just score. You get your scorecard out and score the fight properly. And most people don't know how to score a fight properly. Crazy. It's crazy to me. But and this is what happened. Eventually, it's gonna cut. They just, a lot of these guys don't want to be boxers. That's just what we got to attribute to. A lot of these dudes didn't want to be boxers, bro. This was their way out, and they was forced to take it. That's just the God honest truth. A lot of these guys didn't want to be boxers. And Vergil Ortiz, man, I heard his dad say, well, he takes care of the whole family and all that. Well, niggas need to get a job. What if Vergil Ortiz didn't have his job and he couldn't take care of the whole family? That's my thing. What if Vergil Ortiz couldn't take care of the whole family? That's the crazy shit about it. What if he financially couldn't do so? What the fuck was everybody else gonna do he taking care of? You know, what was everybody else gonna do? It's crazy to me. Why get into a sport and you scared to take an ass whooping? Don't get in then. He said, man, I never knew that. That's crazy. He said, okay, I seen that. What's going on? Easy. I'm trying to get you. General salute. He said the same thing happened with, Jamie and Jim Kelly. Shout out to Mark Nash. Salute. Shout out to the 404. I got hoes in different areas. Facts. Pops have you ready? I had my dream on. Ortiz fought Crawford. I had Crawford stop Ortiz within 8 or 10 rounds. Been an interesting fight. He's at the book as the rest of the adults and the fan. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I wasn't here, what would y'all niggas be doing? And people say Boost Duck T.O. And he conveniently got out of 147. I don't know why the fuck he did that. He should have got that money. Me, real talk. I'd have clipped Devin and T.O. Fuck it. That's how you make a name for yourself. That's how you make a name for yourself. How you think Hagler and Bernard Hopkins made a name for that? They make a fucking name off they self-fighting middleweights. Hopkins, Clark came from Oscar De La Hoya and Tito Trinidad. And previous before that, he had an ass whooping from Roy Jones. Which, him beating Roy Jones when they were 80 years old, they didn't give a fuck. You still lost, and when y'all was younger. People don't know. Bernard Hopkins' debut was at 168, and he took that L and scrolls down to 60. Yeah. Yeah, did he have some, other tremendous fights that was in there? Yeah, I mean, he had the Pavic fight at a catch weight. He jumped up, fought Tartwell at middleweight. He had the fights with Jermaine Taylor, which, most people to this day feel like he won those fights, but they were close. Jermaine Taylor didn't last long. That's why they don't want him to lose. They want to milk it for as long as possible. That's true. And then you just nickel and diming. You just literally nickel and diming. That's all you're doing is nickel dime, nickel dime, nickel dime. If you got a true thoroughbred horse, he the best. Why wait till he old to get the Kentucky Derby? You might as well let him go right now. You might as well let him go. If you know he gonna persevere, he can figure it out. Why not cash in now? The reason Bud had to wait is because he had to go through the politics. Look what Devin Haney doing now. Let me do this shit right now. Tank should be walking out. Errol shouldn't even have been there to stay and fight, Terrence Crawford at 147 and keep it a bean. That fight should have been at 154 minimum. But then again, they whole template of how they moving is horrible at PBC. They whole template of how they moving is trash. How they move caught Earl Spence into a buzzstorm, which he should have never been at 147 to be there. So, let's keep it moving. So apparently Shakur Stevenson didn't know nothing about Marvin Hagler, right? And the funny thing about it to me is these are, and I did a video, right? I did 1 or 2 videos in the shorts on this very same channel, right? And I've talked about in my very exact shorts where these young people are here and they're pretty much saying they don't know who Nelly is or they don't know who these rappers are, but these are the same people telling you that NBA Dumbboy is the best rapper or Drake's the best rapper. This is why I don't argue with people. Most people of this generation will never know what it is like to listen to a whole album. And I talk about T.I. all the time and what makes T.I. so great in my opinion. What makes T.I. so great as a rapper is that he has a lot of good album songs. That's what I love about T.I. T.I.'s album songs is just as good as the singles. You know what I'm saying? Jeezy has a bunch of really good album songs. You know what I'm saying? So everybody just think because you know, for the most part, you're your singles. That's all they listen to is your singles. In this era of rap, all they listen to is your singles. Excuse me. And that makes you the greatest. When I was growing up, it was about the whole album, you know. But nonetheless, these are the people that you arguing about who said Sugar Ray Robinson was buns. These are the people that said Tyson Fury would beat Muhammad Ali. He never even know who the fuck Marvin Hagler was. Most people don't even know Hagler had 43 fights before he got the title, bro. And got robbed in a title fight in the UK. He had to get his title. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. His name got changed to that. They had to legally change his name for him to call him Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And what other people don't realize too, by the time he started to get commercial appeal and he started to get the credit as a top fighter, this is when Sugar Ray Leonard did that fuck nigga shit that he do. He wanted to come back and fight him because he started to see Marvin Hagler. He did what Aaron Pryor couldn't do. And one of the reasons why Aaron Pryor couldn't do what he did is because Hagler made names off of smaller guys coming up. Hagler was able to get those marquee fights. That's why when Jerron Ennis passed up the opportunity to fight T.O. and Devin Haney and fight Norman, you should have took those fights. Those would have been your cachet fights at 147. Bernard done it. I mean, most fighters do. That's how, if you're not moving up in weight, you're fighting guys that's coming into your weight class. That's how a lot of these guys make weight. But why nobody told me Hagler was just cold, great jab, solid movement, great movement on the inside, turn to a dog when it's time. Like, bro, most people don't even understand Sugar Ray Leonard would turn into a dog when he had to. This is the shit I be saying, bro. Like, and these are the same people who try to argue up and down Kobe, Michael, Bill Russell, Wilch, and they know nothing. Jokic and Joe, they know. This is why there's no point of arguing with these guys, because they know nothing about basketball. I shared in the community tab a couple weeks ago that the highest scoring game in NBA history between the Nuggets and the Detroit Pistons, sometimes in the 80s, there was 2 3-pointers made between both teams. And I think 4 3-pointers attempted between both teams, 2 apiece. They was both 1 for 2, and they scored 180 to 184 to 185 or so 183, something like that, right? And they tell me you have to shoot threes to score points. No, you don't. No, you don't. They have the highest scoring game in history in an era when you can foul, when you have big fellas that can block shots. This is why I don't really get into historical stuff, because people can never find them because they never was there. That's why we get into who's the greatest athlete of all time. And I can explain why I feel like Wilt Chamberlain, Bo Jackson was the greatest athletes of all time. But people just think God put athletes in 2026, 2025. But, you look at this dude, when he first got the title, it was 40-something fucking fights. He got robbed. But as soon as he started getting motion, he started getting the minute he started getting motion and he started getting, people started to know who he was. Then Sugar Ray Leonard just wanted to come back and steal the shot. He couldn't stand Marvin Hagler, getting the love. And he got jobbed a lot in his career, bro. So you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. He had a draw with this guy. 19, 20, 21. A lot of these shits was bullshit too. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Got right down. Probably was a close robbery here. 28, I believe. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Willie Monroe. This might have been Willie Monroe's father or something like that. 35, whatever I'm at. 30. I think it's Roy Jones' daddy right here. This shit might be Roy Jones' daddy right here. I don't know. Yeah, like 35. I don't know. Fought Willie Monroe again. I think that was his father or grandfather, Willie Monroe father. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So like in his 46th or 45th fight, give or take a few fights, I lost count. They robbed him versus Vito dude. I think he was from the UK or Italy or some shit. Yeah, from Italy. Got robbed. I think he had to go back to the UK and fight him in the UK. In my memory, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights later. And that was from 2 years, damn near 2-year period. He had to fight this dude later. And he beat him. Hold on, he got the title in another fight. Here we go, right here. He got robbed for the title in this fight versus Vito. 1, 2, 3, 4 fighters he fought the kid in the Wembley Stadium. Alan Mentor. They threw trash when he beat him in Wembley Stadium Arena. They threw trash. He couldn't even celebrate his title. Then he came back and beat Vito 2 fights later in the Boston Garden, stopped him in 4 rounds. So, by the time he started to kind of, he got Roberto Duran. That Roberto went 15 with him too. I think Roberto at the time had got I think he had just got Iran Barkley. He beat up Iran Barkley. I could be wrong on that. Yeah. Where did he fight Hagler at? No, maybe that was after Barkley. Excuse me. Hold on. All right, dude. Yeah. Yeah, he lost it. He went 15 with Hagler. That was in 83. That was in 83. Then he got knocked out in 2 rounds to Thomas Hearns, which I ain't never seen nobody get punched in the face and fall face forward. But the Duran fight, they gave him a lot of momentum. Then the Thomas Hearns fight, one of the greatest fights that it ever was. The Mugabe fight, that was another fight. I believe Mugabe, was he a guy coming up in weight? Yeah. Mugabe was a guy, who maybe he scrolls down. Let me see. So yeah, Mugabe was a guy that came up. He teetered a little bit, but he was a guy that pretty much came. That's one of the best fights you'll see. Hearns fighting Mugabe. He had 2 great fights back to back, outdoors, 2 at Caesars. He had 2 incredible fights, and he was starting to get that cachet. And then Leonard didn't want to see the nigga shining, so Leonard came back, and I think that Hagler won that fight. Most people think Hagler won that fight. Switch hitter. Dangerous southpaw, got fucked over a lot in his career. He went through a lot of things. Hagler wasn't on the celebrated list. When he started to get celebrated, that's why the fuck Sugar Ray Leonard came back. He couldn't stand to see him getting the shine. So, but at the end of the day, it was he was a hell of a fighter, bro. The way he breathed, the way he moved in the ring. He fight with the blood on his face. He'll get you. He can box you. He's a tough dude to get, a mean guy. And you'll think, oh man, he had 3 losses and 2 drops. Man, they fucked over him a lot in his career, bro. After that Ray Leonard fight, he said he broke his TV. Never wanted to fight again. Never wanted to fight again. He had nothing given to him. Everything. The system was pushing against him, like Bud, like Larry Holmes. And you just tend to always see black fighters on that list, whether it's Bud, Terrence Crawford, Larry Holmes, Marvin Hagler. I mean, you can go on and on and on with the number of fighters that's on that bullshit ass list. But if, Aaron Pryor was one of them. Pryor did get the Elastic Man, but for Hagler, I mean, he was able to get, Duran, Hearns back to back, Mugabe. Mugabe, Hearns and Mugabe. What was it? Hearns and Mugabe back to back. No, if you ever seen those fights, bro, if you ever seen the Hearns and Hagler fight, it's the greatest fight ever. And then, he followed up. The sequel was good too. It was a little bit longer. Him and Mugabe, man. And most people say that's why Leonard took that fight, is because he felt like, Hearns took something out of him and Mugabe took something out. But that Mugabe fight, he put Mugabe down. He had to put that dog down, He had to put that dog down. I'm telling you, want some good fights to watch, man? Go watch Hagler. Go watch Hagler and Mugabe. Hagler and Hearns. And a lot of y'all be like, ain't no way he did. Man, a lot of these niggas would cream Floyd. Floyd would have no choice. They will butt rape Floyd and take his lunch money and have him washing their drawers in the cell. Telling y'all, it's like that. Go back and watch. Eric Morales was a bad motherfucker too. I used to love watching Eric Morales fight. Eric Morales was a bad motherfucker. Him and Pacquiao won. Little 12th round, that motherfucker switched southpaw. I wanted to show that motherfucker. I wanted to show him I'm a bad motherfucker too, man. Some great fights, man. I used to know what this shit used to look like. But yeah, man. I mean, for him not to know, and Hagler from Newark, Jersey, crazy. See, I was going to jail. When he's going to training camp, he called it jail. I do think Boots never happened at 154. I think Boots would have killed T.O. Well, kill him. Historically, a lot of these dudes made their names off smaller guys moving up, especially in the middleweight division. And that's why the middleweight division so dead. You had Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya move up through there. Did Winky Wright move up to 150 from 154 to 160? I can believe so. I think Shane might have tried this look at 162. I'm not going to say that for sure. I think Winky and Bernard fought at 168. Yes, sir. 170 catch weight. I still thought Winky won that fight, but that's just my opinion. 54. I mean, Trinidad came through there. Sugar Ray Robinson came through there. Sugar Ray Leonard came through there. Thomas Hearns came through there. Roberto Duran came through there. Used to have guys religiously moving up to the middleweight division from the welterweight division. Now you see the middleweight division is dead. Why? Because motherfuckers don't want to move up no more. That's why it's dead. Nobody want to move up no more. I saw that crazy, like Ninja talking about next up. Had no idea about the ones who came. That's crazy, right? No historical. We in the era of boxing, who these niggas will get mad when you don't buy their fight and you stream it, but they don't even watch boxing. They don't even want to come to the fights. They got to be contracted to come to. They don't even watch their own fights. Hagler in my top 5, and I have no issue with that. Hagler from Newark too. How the fuck's Shakur on? I'm telling y'all, they don't have no respect for the elders. They think they invented this shit. They think they good. Get out of here. It doesn't make sense, nigga, be in the league with Bud and so clueless. Yup. This nigga just using Bud for aesthetics, bro. Same Hagler in my top 10. Ray Robinson and Joe Louis are the greatest boxers of all time. Can't be argued. Gotta throw Jack Johnson in there too. Without Jack Johnson, would niggas be fighting? That is Willie's and Roy's father on his record. Yes, I believe it. Well, I knew Willie. I wasn't sure about Roy. Dude said he'd never lose to a black man. Talking about Bernard Hopkins. Who? Oh, you talking about who you talking about who said that? Yes, indeed, a true athlete, a gladiator. He said you never know what side you will end up on. He said Spence can easily be in Bud's position. He said he will always discredit Floyd. Definitely will. Fuck that nigga. Nigga didn't fight niggas. I keep telling you, how can you be the best and you didn't fight niggas? I'm gonna continue to say that about Floyd. How can Floyd be the best and he didn't fight niggas? You see what happened when Bernard fought niggas? Chad Dawson pieced that nigga up. Jermaine Taylor sent him with a 2-piece and a fucking dry ass biscuit from Popeyes. Every time Bernard fought a nigga, he lost. Damn near. Felix just wasn't quite the nigga that he needed to be. He was just a little bit too much Spanish than Felix. Felix Trinidad. Time that nigga lost, that it was a nigga. Still think Winky beat him. He did beat Antonio Tarver. He's don't get no blacker than Tarver. I get it, my nigga. You did jump up and beat Tarver. Floyd wasn't fighting no niggas, man. Can't be the best you to fight niggas, man. He ain't got enough white boys on his resume. He ain't got enough diversity on his resume. Everybody else then knocked everybody out. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't fight niggas. I'm just keep it a bean. Ain't nobody gonna have the balls to say it, but I'm gonna say it. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. He fight niggas. He fought some niggas. Then, hey man, maybe so. Bud fought them all. Hagler had no choice, but either one of them had no choice but to fight them all. That's all I'm saying. Oh yeah, so yeah, I seen Tony Harrison call out. He fought at the Fox. Shout out to the Fox. I ain't been in the Fox shit probably since Sesame Street Live, my nigga. So he called out Errol Spence, which at the end of the day, at first I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. All right, that ain't a bad fight. You know, Dallas and Detroit got a nice, and Michigan and Texas got a nice connection. Dallas and Detroit got a nice connection. Why not? I would want to see it. I believe they in the same point of their career. Yeah, I believe they in the same point of their career. You know, when we play the Cowboys, we play the Houston Texans. It's always good money. It's always some good money. It's always love. So, you know, maybe they can do a home and home or something like that. Or they can do a Detroit versus, you know, Texas card. You know, that'd be a nice little card. I'm down to see it. So I think the more I thought about that call out, I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I mean, I don't think you need all that much money. I think, you know, Tony, he an older fighter. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, EJ, it might be best for him to jump over 154, 160, a lot of opportunity. Janet Baker's out of there. Maybe Carlos Adames go up there and chase a Tony 35 years old, be 36 next September. You know, maybe Janet Baker go up there, you know, he dropped the titles, you know, maybe Adames to go chase Canelo. Maybe I feel like Lara should go chase another Canelo fight. You know, and I think it's a lot of opportunity because what I said before, a lot of these guys ain't moving up the way they moved up. That's why middleweight got a lot of its pizzazz. It was a lot of guys moving into the middleweight division. You know, so yeah, I don't understand why. And then maybe Charlo can get in on it too. You know, it's already, you know, he get the winner or something like that. Maybe, you know, Vergil Ortiz, something happen. He can jump up in the mix at 160 and fight some of these dudes for a name. I think this is a great get back fight for Errol. I know Tony had a couple of them. I like it. So I think it's a good look. I think they all in the kind of the grown, you know, we grown as hell, you know, maybe we be waiting at Earl 35 too, be 36 in March. You know, we can wait. You know, we can let the young bucks duke it out. And I think it's titles to have at 160. It's a bunch of titles that's about to be up. Lara's geriatric. Janet Big got to come off those titles. And then, you know, Jesus Ramos is an interim WBC titleist. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but I like Jesus Ramos. You know, so I mean, like I said before, if I'm Adames, maybe I try to jump up and challenge Canelo, get to Shiraz and Diego Pacheco winner if they about to fight. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. If I'm Earl, it make a lot of sense. I mean, from the connections to the two cities or the two states. I mean, I think a lot of people will show up and show out. I think you can find other cards other fighters that can support the card. It'd be a nice event. You know, is it a Vegas? Is it a Texas card? Is it a Detroit card? I mean, however you want to do it. You know, I know they want to do some shit and they want to do more shit in Detroit, but you know, if Earl is, you know, it's better to go up, so be it. You know, but right now, Errol Spence, this is the perfect type of fight for him. This is the ideal fight for Errol Spence because for the most part, it's over. I mean, you know, who do you know? You know, what do you know? You know, Tony, you can catch him on the chin. He can box, nice rangy guy. But you really ain't looking at another high energy fighter that's going to really take it to Earl. He get in there with Jesus Ramos. Ramos might clip Earl in 2 rounds. He get in there with Adames. He might get caught with something. You get a nice opportunity to go to 60, you know, jump up about 13 pounds from your last fight, be a little fuller. You got an opponent that's pretty much on your level. You got an opponent that's gonna be on your speed. Y'all both got the wear and tear, the damage on it. You can knock the rust off, and Charlo can get the winner. But the problem is everybody want top dollar. He said Dallas versus Dallas. Y'all can't fuck with Detroit. Y'all niggas still wearing throwbacks and headbands to the club. Y'all niggas going to the club dressed like Sean Porter. These niggas still wearing throwbacks. Y'all niggas be looking musty in the Dallas club. And then y'all bitches ain't hitting on shit no more. They all burning and shit. That's everywhere though. I see the shit that's going on in Dallas. Them bitches ain't shit. All them bitches from Detroit and New York moved to Dallas. And then y'all don't even want to fuck them because them bitches got everything. They burning. They got shit that shoot ice out your dick out there, especially in Houston. Shit. Go out in Houston, Bat Raw. Yo, Louisville Slugger, they ain't gonna be slugging too much long. Gonna meet me at the come on, man. We know y'all niggas still wearing do-rags and shit. Y'all still wearing do-rags with the headband and the Randy Moss throwback jersey and shit, man. Y'all niggas ain't invented no style in Dallas. Fucking niggas in Dallas, the shag is where y'all niggas died at. Y'all niggas literally had a piece of fucking outdoor indoor carpet on the back of y'all head. Pack y'all up. Pack Dallas up after that one. Get y'all ass back on the grill, flip some ribs, flip some beef sausages or some shit like that. Get y'all ass back on the grill. Get that fat nigga with the goddamn, with the motherfucking towel over his fucking over his shoulder, and grilling them fucking pig feet and shit. Fuck out of here talking about style. Y'all niggas traded Luka. That's enough. That's enough right there. Y'all traded Luka. Nigga be so hot in Dallas, y'all niggas gotta carry a speed stick in y'all back pocket. Fuck out of here. Fuck wanna be in Dallas. Niggas hot. The hoes burning. Walk outside, your feet burning. Sweating through your Randy Moss Minnesota throwback and shit, man. Fuck all that. Y'all got it. Hot as fucking Dallas. And y'all got the biggest alphabet community out there. That's why y'all shit so high. Y'all be talking about Atlanta and DC. Them niggas got more switch hitters out in Dallas than anywhere else, more than San Francisco. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Remember the nigga was telling Errol Spence to pop it in the club for him? Nigga, come on, man. Pop it, pop it, pop it. Biggest rapper from Dallas is Post Malone and fucking Vanilla Ice. Two white boys. That don't mean, baby. Rest in peace. Rest in power to the brother Mo 3. That nigga was a real killer. Allegedly. That nigga was a real killer. I don't want nothing to do with that nigga, man. That nigga was a real killer. That nigga was chopping and screwing niggas. You've been chopped and screwed. And hey, matter of fact, allegedly, y'all boy Yellow Beezy, he hired a blade to kill him. I mean, you can't write this. I don't know why you talk shit. You shouldn't have talked shit. That nigga hired a blade to kill him. He said, yeah, I kill him, to get my nails done. I don't know why you even made that comment. You go to Dallas to get some peach cobbler, some pig feet, beef ribs, some steak, get some nice barbecue. You get your ass right back on the plane to fuck up out of there. Them hoes got shit burning through the condom. Niggas don't even fuck with the hoes in Dallas. Go research it. And nobody will talk to me in Dallas. Even Pookie and Ray Ray don't want nothing to do with them. Even Pookie and Ray Ray don't want nothing to do with them. Even Pookie like, Pookie like, hell no. I had Fire and Ice Tina Marie going through my penis and shit. Charlo done cook that Canelo pay. I mean, he take care of his money. I listen to him talk. Tony will get his ass plumb. I don't know. Errol Spence ain't fought in 2 years. They fight next summer. It'll be 3. It'd be 3. My cousin Trans Tony here. It'd be 3. Errol Spence probably done, bro. You see Errol Spence come back. He got that chase alert. Yo, balance is $25 or less. That nigga, I need to fight. So the reason Alicia is who she is now is because Tony ain't finished. Tony ain't serious about this shit. I mean, who knows? Maybe his passion is putting into his gym. I know a kid. I mentored a kid that was at the gym. He was a good kid. Now Dallas is king of what? We put our sorry ass Detroit Lions put belt to ass to y'all. Y'all did rob us the other night in basketball though. But we already had beat y'all ass in Mexico. Y'all ain't going nowhere. Where are these streets burning? He said, I'm in Houston. I know. Hell yeah. I don't even know how y'all niggas. I moved to Houston and these last thing I'm thinking about is Houston and a bitch. Them niggas got syphilis. They got everything. Chlamydia. Man, y'all love to go to Houston, yeah. And go get tested. Go get tested. Straight to they say you pull out a condom in Houston and women look at you like they offended. Shit is crazy, bro. He said, stop hating, bro. Tell us my fan. I know him. Maybe Taylor. He said, maybe he will listen to you and tighten up. He said, what type of hardcore fan? Oh, y'all talking about, so I ain't getting in that. He said, just keep watching. Not y'all arguing. What's the point? Oh, Big Ass the plug. He didn't even write that song, The Biggest. No Diddy. There go another Diddy fired for Dallas. He said his artist wrote it. I'm biggest, the largest. I like Big Ass the plug, though. Well, let me get out of here, man. Y'all arguing and shit. Appreciate y'all. The link in the description. Join the Patreon. Peace.